These are lessons that in some cases I've learned the hard way. Hello, remember me? I've come to collect. This actually really hurts now that I look at the screen and think about the lost opportunity cost. Hey guys, I recently celebrated my 28th birthday and, without getting all philosophical, I've been thinking about my life, how I've evolved over the years, how my knowledge and wisdom, particularly when it comes to YouTube and personal finance, has grown and evolved over the years. And so I thought about what advice would I give to my 18-year-old self who had a very different mindset when it came to personal finance and money. And so in this video, I'm going to talk through 4 lessons I would give to 18-year-old Johnny to help him on his personal finance journey. So let's get into the video. So at 18 years old, I was finishing up my A-level exams in the UK, getting ready to go to study business at university. And I knew that business was something that I wanted to have a career in. So like many people, I took out a UK student loan, part to fund my tuition and part for a maintenance loan and grant, which help you with your living expenses essentially. Now, quick bit of context for people not from the UK. Student finance in the UK works a little bit different than it does in the US. Basically, you only pay back your student loan in the UK if your income is over a certain threshold, and you only pay a percentage of your income above that threshold. So it essentially works more like a graduate tax, as Martin Lewis, UK finance expert, has described it, more so than a loan. Because whether your balance is £100, £10,000, £1 million, whatever your income is what determines how much you'll pay back. With that said, however, the way that student finance was pitched to us was almost like it was free money, the value of the debt will go down over time, which is true, and that most of you won't ever pay everything off. So it was like an investment in your future. And with this, I do agree, for some careers that you really want to go into, then a university degree is required. However, student finance is by no means free. So I would definitely tell my younger self this. But under no circumstances is student finance free money. It seems like it at the time for many people. This will be the first time you've seen thousands of pounds hit your account all at once and you're like, wow, let's go and enjoy this money. But then when you get your first job out of university and you look at your paycheck and you see student finance who's like, hello, remember me? I've come to collect. Then you realize it's not free. Now, as I said, going to university for some careers is a necessity because of the qualification and educational requirements. And not many people, especially with the current UK tuition prices, have the capacity to privately fund their university tuition. So if you are going to take out a student loan to finance your degree, I would say think very carefully about how much you want to apply for and see if there's any ways that you can reduce the amount you borrow. Because as I said, you only have to pay back a percentage of what is over that threshold for repayment. So essentially that will determine what you repay back. Nevertheless, your balance, that means what you have left to pay off, still works like a debt. So if you can minimize that balance, then it means that the interest being added on is less and you're more likely to be able to pay it off before the 25, 30 years is up, and that will do good for your financial situation. With that said, still 70, 80% of people still won't pay off their student loan in full once the 30 years is up. But by minimizing your balance, you give yourself a good shot at being able to pay it off sooner and helping your financial situation in the long term. And it helps your situation by getting rid of the need to repay. That means that's one less payment that you need to make per month, and it's more money that you get to keep for you. So alternative sources of funding you could look for instead of taking out the maximum student loan amount. You could do a part-time job, you could work a part-time job while you're at university. I actually worked part-time while I was at university. I worked in a fast food restaurant and that gave me a bit of extra income as well. You could apply for grants and scholarships based on either academic merit or, particularly if you're a competitive athlete, then a lot of universities offer sports scholarships to talented athletes. Or you could set up a little side hustle gig to help bring in some extra money as well. The internet has advanced significantly in the past 10 years since I went to university, and it's much easier to get an online business up and running if that's something that you're interested in. The second piece of advice I would give to my 18-year-old self is to buy and enjoy things in moderation. Now, I had some savings to help me with my living expenses when I went to university, and though I did spend some of that money on worthwhile things like getting my driving license, like supporting my living when I studied abroad, for example, there were times when I splurged like I'd won the lottery. Just going on nights out, buying expensive sports equipment, buying new clothes, stuff that in the long term I was never going to use all the time and didn't need, but because I had the money and it was in front of my eyes at the time, I was like, I want it, I got it. I was just a bit reckless with the way I spent money at times. Like, just because I had the money there, I was thinking very much in the now and then and not thinking about, the future implications of spending that money. And as I went through the years of university and that money depleted, I started to realize that I really need to budget and plan much, much better than I'm doing right now, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to afford my basic necessities because I'm just spending money left, right, and center. So 18-year-old Johnny definitely would have benefited from knowing how to run a budget and be a bit more disciplined with money. And this leads me nicely into the next point, because not only was finance tight because of my reckless spending, but there was also an opportunity cost. I could have started investing at the age of 18, at the age of 19, but I didn't really know how to do it. I know I asked around, but kind of the conclusion that I drew, investing was trading. I had to be up at 7 a.m., trading for a few hours of the day, and there was big risk of lost money. So although I did want to spend my money on things, I knew I didn't want to lose it on trading. So at least I got that one right. But could you imagine if all that money that I spent on nights out, on clothes, on useless gadgets, if I'd really just put that in the stock market over the past 10 years, could you imagine how much that could have grown to today? In fact, let's just say, for the example's sake, $1,000. If I had put $1,000 in the S&P in 2013 when I was starting university, today I would have about $3,088. I could have essentially tripled my money over 10 years instead of spending it on stuff. This actually really hurts now that I look at the screen and think about the lost opportunity cost. Anyways, it is what it is, but I definitely encourage people of the university age, whether you're like late teens or early 20s, if you have some money, even if it's just, £50 a month, £100 a month, that you can put in, an ETF or an index fund, or you're looking at the stock market, this is a good time to look at it, because the power of your money, the power of compound interest over time is insanely powerful, as you can see from the example that I just showed before. Can you imagine what this would be in 20, in 30, in 40, in 50 years time if you just invest that money today? And so the final lesson that I would give to 18-year-old Johnny kind of draws the previous three together, and it's that money at the end of the day is a tool. Money in society often has connotations of how rich you are, how wealthy you are, what your status in society is. But at the end of the day, money is a tool. It's something that can be exchanged for, goods and services that we need on a daily basis. It's something that we can use to build our wealth, improve our financial situation if we invest it smartly. Money has a time value. Those of us who work, we exchange our time for money. So every dollar, every euro, every pound we spend, that's equivalent to a certain amount of time that we've worked. And when you start looking at money that way, it can really, really change how you view how you want to spend your money. And as we saw in the compounding example, it has the potential to turn into more money over time. Now, I wouldn't say these are regrets of mine, because my university experience was amazing. I got to live and study abroad for the first time at university. I made fantastic friends that I know I'll keep for life. So the experience on the whole was great. It's just, these are lessons that in some cases I learned the hard way. And they're lessons that could have essentially resulted in me having a very different financial situation today as opposed to the one I have. The financial situation that I have right now is good, but perhaps it could have been better if I'd learned some of these lessons sooner. I could have been further on my journey than I am today. Anyways, I hope you found this video interesting, guys. Leave a comment and let me know, what advice would you give to your younger self? I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.